So today marks a very exciting day in the life of VidetteV TV, and it's the whole reason it was created. And that was to bring you interviews of women creating their epic revolutions or their businesses, but that's not as fun as creating an epic revolution to change the world. And I'm going to be bringing you weekly interviews of women who are doing just that. And today I introduce you to Whitney Ferre, who is my inaugural interview. She's a wonderful woman. She's fun too. And I wanted to bring you her epic revolution. Free your mind. So hello everybody, this is Vidette Vanderweide with VidetteV.com, and I'm here to welcome Whitney Ferre. Whitney, tell me how... Sorry. Ferre. I should have asked that to begin with. So Whitney is my very first interview with VidetteV.com, and this was really the direction I wanted to go with VidetteV when I started it. So up until this point, I've been kind of finding my technology, figuring out how to make these interviews work, and in the meantime, I've just been filling up content with my own content. So I'm really excited to start bringing inspired, powerful women to VidetteV.com to share with our community and to really grow the inspiration for all women, and especially mothers, to really live the lifestyle of their dreams. So I'm going to first introduce Whitney. And Whitney is the author of The Artist Within and Chief Creativity Guru, I love that, at creativelyfit.com. And she is also the co-creator of the Journey Retreat, which is a retreat celebrating the creativity and spirit of our life's work. And I have to say that I am very excited to attend the Journey Retreat and to really just get out of it what you all have put into it, Whitney. So let me welcome you, Whitney, to this call. Thank you for being here with us.
Of course. I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, good. So, Whitney, I know I first have to tell everyone you have been up for 24 hours doing a. Explain it. I don't want to not give it enough credit. So tell us what you've been doing, and also just tell me your story, because your story was really intriguing to me when we sat down a couple of weeks ago. So tell us what you've been doing and what your story is.
Okay, well, so I've been up for 24 hours doing a painting marathon, and I work with people at creativelyfit.com. I teach them how to use art making as a vehicle for personal empowerment, to empower them to create the change they want to see in their world. And I've been doing that since 1996. Back then, I opened an art center. I was 26 years old and had absolutely no art background, had not taken an art class since my sophomore year in high school, was overwhelmingly, intuitively convicted about the need to create an environment where people could come to physiologically get into and work out that right brain muscle. And this is before, people are talking about right, left brain, really. I mean, I had, read something somewhere once, but I had been reading a book called Zen and the Art of Making a Living. And he insisted throughout the book that you had to adopt an artist mentality in order to create the life that you wanted, because he was citing all these kind of roles and structures that society has set up that a lot of people just fall into because it's the path that's laid out in front of us. Right. And what's great about what you're doing is you're encouraging moms to say you can make this whatever you want. Right. You don't have to just follow the cookie cutter. And that's exactly what this man, Lawrence Bolt, was saying in his book. And I had been trying to take art classes for so long, did not believe I could paint or draw, but knew I wanted to do something creative. Mm-hmm. And so when he kept talking about the artist mentality, I'm like, well, I'm sold. Where does one go to develop an artist mentality? And so I wanted to open, kind of like the YMCA for creativity, where people could come and feel really supported and safe and create art with the intention of going out into their lives and creating their life as art. And that's exactly what happened. My clients would come back into art class, with this excited look, and they're like, guess what I did? And it is something they'd been meaning to do forever, But because that left brain logical, linear, critical, judgmental, fear-based side of their mind had been the only one contributing its input, they had not taken the steps forward. And so the art class tapped into that right side, that right hemisphere that is not fear-based, that believes everything is working out perfectly, even when it doesn't, and is ready to take immediate steps. It doesn't care what's happened in the past. It doesn't care what may possibly happen in the future. So it's willing to say, well, make the phone call, or sign up for the class, or apply to present at the retreat, or, those little steps, and just let one thing lead to another. And so that's what happened. Life is all a series of small steps.
Right.
And if we just keep taking the small steps, we will get to where we want to go. But it's all about helping people take those first steps. So that's what I do. Art is the vehicle. I am not motivated to create master artists or people who sell in galleries.
Right.
My typical client is someone who has always wanted to be creative or has always wanted to paint but didn't think they had inherited that gene, And so I make it super easy. I call myself a professional beginner because I've still never been formally trained in art,
Right.
And so the painting marathon, what I just did was, kind of this crazy stunt to get people's attention and help them to think like, okay, well, if she can paint for 24 hours, I could maybe paint, one painting or I could try. Plus it gave me the opportunity to create like 13 new videos that are pretty humorous. And so, it was just one of those things. I have 3 children. And a husband, and they are all out of town. So I was trying to take advantage of that as well, and I had a blast. But it was really, it's about breaking belief barriers and making people think, like, that's a crazy idea. So if she's doing that, what crazy idea do I have that I could do? I kept encouraging people to do something different today. Just do something different. And that'll lead to different things. So that's in a nutshell.
Talk about something that caught me when you were talking, because I loved that you brought up that life is small steps each day. And I talk a lot about seemingly insignificant steps are so valuable or invaluable to a person's life. But you took a big step in opening the art gallery with really no experience up until that point. Talk about the courage and really what it was like to walk through your fear and actually, and because you told me a couple weeks ago that you opened the doors and was like, now what? So talk about moving through that fear and how that transformed you.
Well, I think a really important element for anybody is, and this personally, this in your heart, is really you want to find the work that you are so passionate about that you could do it till you died, it wouldn't even matter because it's what you want to do, that you really believe it will help and serve others and serve the greater good. I think women are, more likely to resonate with that kind of work, right? And so if you find something like that, it will literally take you over. And because you're perfectly aligned with what it is you're supposed to do, because that's why you feel that way about it, right? Things fall into place. And I was constantly, I remember being in tears with my husband, who was then my boyfriend, on the back deck at his house, crying, like, what am I doing, And then the next feeling was, this is happening with or without me,
Yeah.
So if I want to hold on for the ride, I need to just keep putting one foot in front of the other. So it was back to those small steps. Like I'd get afraid, just like we all do. But I would, and I would be there. I would be afraid and crying on the back porch, and then I would just take the next step.
Right.
And again, because it was all aligned, there were enough little miracles that happened every day that kept encouraging me and kept happening throughout. I didn't make $1 million at the Creative Fitness Center, and now it's all online. I live in Oregon instead of Nashville, where I opened that. I have no bricks and mortar, but it had changed lives and provided me with an amazing life and opportunities. And so It's really about being convicted about the need for the business, the idea in your head to exist. Mm-hmm. You're the only one who can make it exist.
Right.
You know, I mean, I could do exactly what you do, you know, quote unquote. It would never be the same. Like
right.
Only you can do what you are supposed to do. And so, so you just have to realize that fear is part of it. And I spend a lot of time now talking with people about fear. I'm really excited about fear, because fear, when you feel it, it's not a bad thing. That's a sign that you are on the right track.
Yep.
In situations, right? Because you're approaching the unknown. And if you're going to do something new, a new idea or anything like that, you are going to have to face the fear. If you think you won't have to, or if you do, that's a sign that you shouldn't do it, then, you know, you're not you're not going to get anywhere, because it's going to be scary. So it's almost like, look for the fear. You know, look for where it pops up, not where you're like, you know, stressed out, anxiety, you know, whatever, but where you feel that, like, ooh, can I do that? Can I really go there?
Yeah.
And then go there, you know, one step at a time, go there.
Yeah,
that's how
I laugh. I kind of have giggled throughout your answer there, because I swear my viewers are going to think I coached you, because I talk about just take the next step, take whatever, however small it may seem, take the next step, and you alluded to that. And I've talked about fear. You know, fear, when you're feeling fear, it means you're growing. And you're moving into something that's uncomfortable, and it's new, and it's scary. But when you step through it, the feeling the fear is the most painful part. It's stepping through and being free of it, which will just cleanse your energy. It'll just clear so much within you. But something else you said, it was a very quick. You alluded to. And I hate to call it a business, because for me, my business is not a business. It's my purpose. It's I call it my epic revolution. It's how I'm going to change the world. So for you had mentioned that your business created a great life for you. And that was one of my questions, is to ask you about your lifestyle and what this has done for you, and being a mom, and being passionate about what you do, and talk about what your lifestyle is like as a result of doing what is your purpose.
Well, you know, so I've had multiple evolutions, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, when I first opened the Creative Fitness Center, you know, I had no children at that point. I had children 2-3 years later. So I was able to, you know, we never had nannies, or they never went to full-time childcare. You know, I did the 9 to 2 preschool 2 or 3 days a week when they were little, and I was able to work and be myself, you know, keep my groove on, and still also be a full-time mom, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was, you know, kind of felt like I was doing both a lot. And so that was fabulous. I also believe with your children, you know, especially with girls, right? Because I have 2 girls and a son. And I look at my girls, and they have very different personalities. They have amazing skills and talents and passions. And you really, you know, honestly, you have that feeling of like, okay, I want you to grow up and be able to pursue your passion and take that out into the world. And you don't have to stop doing that when you have children. Mm-hmm. You know, because then it's kind of like, I'm not just raising you to have children. Not that that's not a good thing, but like, you know, I want you to be able to do like what I did. I was able to do both.
Right.
You know, I didn't have to choose. And I was very conscious of that from the beginning when I was, you know, figuring out my career. I'm like, I don't want to start something that I'm going to quit in 5 years, and I wasn't going to do the full-time childcare thing, just personally. So that was amazing. I think when your kids see you fired up and excited, you're setting the example, you know, and that's what they're going to expect for their lives. So I tell my kids all the time, you know, I travel a bit, right? Like I got to come down and see you. Yeah. And I tell them, I'm like, you know, you've got a mama on a mission, and I hope you grow up and have a mission and you keep at it. And so that's a huge thing. And then, you know, really when you have your own business, you work a ton, right? Right. But you have ultimate freedom. You can you can do it wherever. Like you mentioned, you can do it sitting in the park.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it watching them at the pool. You can take the time off. You can work late when they go to bed. It's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't imagine anything else. I can't imagine it.
Yeah.
So lifestyle-wise, you really have the opportunity to create what you want. I had art centers from 96 to 2004. We bought this property out here in Oregon. Actually, we switched in 2004. So it was 96 to 2008. We bought this property in 2007, where we live now. And so from 2007 until 2011, it was about, putting my attention on the online program so that I could do that from anywhere.
Right.
And I had the ability to do that, So lifestyle-wise, it's having your independence. And then being able to spend your time, you're either with your kids or you're doing something you love.
Yeah. Yes.
And I really, I didn't always have the baby gift, and I didn't always send the thank you note,
Yeah.
It was grocery store, Home Depot, kids, So there are some sacrifices there you make, but I don't really see them as sacrifices.
Yeah.
So
Neither do I. I just heard a really great definition for sacrifice, and it's doing something you've never done to have something you've never had, instead of giving something up. So I love that. So our last question, I really I feel that you're going to give a good answer for this, is what impact on the world do you feel that your business or your epic revolution will have, and how do you plan on translating it to the world?
Right. Well, what I know for sure is that we are now in a constant state of change. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, never again will we be able to say, oh, we'll just do it the same way we did it last year. Mm-hmm. Never again. So our minds, the way we've been raised and educated, and our path laid out for us by the greater culture, society, is very left brain oriented. It's still back based on the industrial age, where everything came along in a little line and you put it together and then it was done. And that's not the way the world is anymore. It's very lateral. It's all over the place. We diverge all the time, go a million different directions. We have to learn new things, whether it's skills or, people skills, on every level. We have to learn new things every day. And our minds have not been trained that way. We haven't been taught that type of thinking. Mm-hmm. And so what I'm doing at Creatively Fit is giving people a really simple, accessible way to physiologically get into their right hemisphere and strengthen it, because it works just like a muscle. And so that when they go back out into their lives, literally those same mental muscles that they use to figure out how to turn that blank canvas into a painting are the same mental muscles that will get stimulated when they need to solve any problem.
Wow.
Any problem is a blank canvas. And what amazes me over and over and over again, still to this day, every time I hear it, is how people learn to paint and then take bold action in their lives to create the life they want. A woman I'm working with right now, I met her in Seattle at a workshop I did. And she has a very heart-driven job in a more bureaucratic, type role, right? So she's been doing that for 12 years. She was tired of it, wanting change, but didn't know how to go about doing that. And she's been doing my online programs. She hired a coach, and she's now taking a year sabbatical, finishing her master's, and is excited about all the possibilities, and that's the kind of thing that she might not have done had she not accessed that part of her mind that's like, do it. Like, you're fine. You're safe doing that, And so that's the kind of thing that gets me excited. My students are not calling me up saying, I am getting so good at painting owls, because we paint owls.
Yeah. And
because owls symbolize our inner light. What they tell me is that they are following their inner guidance more as a result. And we need this right now, because our world needs change on every single level. Our kids are not being educated properly. Our economies, our government, our world, everything is still trying to operate in an old paradigm. And the only people who are going to create the new paradigm are us. And frankly, I think it's going to be women.
Yeah.
And so, this is why I do what I do. And I do believe that with all of us collaborating and working together with the same spirit, that we will definitely change the world. And so the journey where you are going to be in April has the most incredible cast of presenters. We have over 20 presenters flying in literally from all over the world. Okay, the sun is like shining in the
I can see it. Your retinas are going to be burning.
Anyway, you all can hear me. And so all these people are flying in. They are passionate change agents, and they are involved in creativity and spirituality. And that weekend is going to be magical. So that's the kind of thing that if you have something like what we're talking about, like, okay, now is my time. I have got to do it. And that's what 2012 is all about.
Yep.
2012 is like, if you have anything that you've been meaning to do, you better do it this year, because this is the opportunity. So the journey is going to be like strapping rocket boosters to your goals and dreams, and having the most amazing people who are all coming at their own expense. They're not getting paid. I mean, it's the most amazing thing. So it is a really, really amazing opportunity. And we're excited to have a live in-person, event where people can really connect. So that's, another offshoot of what I do, and so excited about that.
And the website for that is journeycreatively.com.
Yes.
Everybody to check out. And I'll put those links on the page as well. But, well, Whitney, I want to thank you. You can be found, your business or your Epic Revolution can be found at creativelyfit.com and also journeycreatively.com. And one last thing you said, I saw a quote probably about a month or two ago from the Dalai Lama, who said that the world is going to be changed and saved by a Western woman. And when you were talking about the changes you're going to make in the world, my heart was so full, because I feel like we need more women like you that has that passion, who understands that just one person has the ability and the effect to create that ripple effect across the world. So I'm so honored to join you at Journey Creatively. I cannot tell you how excited, honored, and happy I am to be going up to the Portland area to join you. And I want to thank you for being our very first interview on VidetteV.com. It has been a great one. My heart's been in my throat the whole time, like, please God, nothing happened. No, stay running. But Whitney, thank you so much, and I just can't tell you how much I appreciate you being here after 24 hours of painting. So thank you.
No problem.
And we will see you in a month. Bye, Whitney.
Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.
Free your mind.